Hello, and welcome back to Friday's edition of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. I mean, is there anything greater than talking about the Bears? No, I don't think so. So, this week, the Bears are going to be playing, the 2-2 Bears are going to be playing the 3-1 Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, baby, right here in my hometown, my second hometown. I'm from Illinois, but my hometown now. And yep, I live 10 minutes down from the stadium. But I'm not 10 minutes from there because by the time you drive and park and stuff like that, but it's really just down the street from me. So I pass it all the time when I'm on the expressway. It's pretty cool. So this should be an interesting game. So let's get to some stats and then we'll dive into this week's game. So the Raiders and the Bears have played 15 times. The Raiders have won 8 and the Bears have won 7. And the last time they played was in 2019, October 2019 in London, when we should have won that game. But again, another naggy screw up. But the Raiders won 24-21. And I remember that game because they should have won, and the Bears looked flat as hell. And the Raiders had gotten there on Monday, and they played Sunday. The Bears got there Thursday and got there Friday and played Sunday. So the Bears, to me, looked like they were jet-lagged. They were tired. They should have been there all week. That was a stupid call on Nagy's part because most teams say you should be there for the full week to adjust for the time change because it's a big time change. So another wonderful Nagy move, but we won't talk about that anymore. But that was the last time we played them, and we've never played the Los Angeles Raiders because this is the first time we've faced them with the new name. And they're in their new stadium too. So kind of cool, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty happy about that. So we'll see what happens this week. So we start a new with now the Las Vegas Raiders. A viewer of mine, a subscriber of mine, who is a regular. It's DJ, and he sent me. He made a comment, and I thought this was really, really good. So I'm gonna mention it right now. Before I get into all the stats of the game, but this comes from just kind of from last week's game. So, he's a regular viewer. He's awesome. So here's your shout out, DJ. So last week in the game, we all know that Nagy did not call those plays. That was quite obvious by the third play, and Laser did it. And Nagy never told anybody prior to the game or right after the game that Laser was going to be calling the plays until during the press conference after the game, one of the reporters asked him, "Did you call those plays or did Laser?" And that's when Nagy admitted that he did not call the plays. So I think it's kind of shitty that he didn't come out right away and say it, but it's totally Nagy. And DJ sent a very good quote, and this is a Harry Truman quote, and if people don't know that out there, he was our president many years ago, and I thought this is just really great, and Nagy does need to learn this. So this is the quote from Harry Truman. "It's amazing what you can do. It's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit." Isn't that interesting? What a great saying, Harry. And it's the truth. And Nagy does not seem to be one of those guys. And this is another funny thing is, you know how I've been making fun of Nagy, actually last year and this year, and I've been doing it since he's been here with my son, he knows. I've been making fun of the fact that Nagy wears a visor and he's a bald man. I think it's just so freaking funny. It makes him look like a clown. Apparently, Rich Eisen, who has a show on ESPN and who's been in sports forever, also makes fun of Nagy and wearing a visor. So I thought that was pretty funny. And I'm like, hey, again, stuff I start, I never get credit for. So now Eisen's going to get the credit for saying he's a clown in a visor hat. And I've been saying that for years. So it happens to me all the time. I come up with stuff, and then it gets out in the universe and people start taking credit for it. But it was my idea first. Anyways, I'm just kidding. So anyways, that's something Nagy should think about. All right, so let's talk about the Raiders. The Raiders, when I was doing the stats for this game, they've got us beat in every category but one. So this is going to be one tough afternoon. There's no doubt about it. So the Raiders passing pass yards per game is averaging 326, and they're second in the league for that out of 32 game teams. Now, this is the only category we beat them in, and their rushing per game is 80 yards, and they're 27th in the league, and that's the only time we beat them in any category. They have been scoring an average of 26 points a game, and that puts them ninth in the league. And points allowed by the defense has been 25 points a game, and that puts them 13th in the league. I thought maybe we'd have them there, but we don't. So Carr, I mean, this guy is just been, except for last week, he didn't have a great game on Monday, but he has been on fire. He has 1,399 yards passing already, 8 touchdowns, and he has 3 interceptions. So he can have them. So with 8 TDs and 3 interceptions, so there's a chance there for us. And he's been sacked 12 times, so another chance. So that means their offensive line is a little bit vulnerable, like the Bears line. I'm being nice about the Bears line, so that's a good thing. So maybe our, we'll talk about that, but our defense might, they should. I'm hoping they looked at film and they're like, yeah, we're gonna get this guy. Their running back is their top running back is Barber, and he's got 143 yards. Again, we beat him in that category. And their top receiver, Ruggs, has 297 yards per game right now. So beating us in that category too. So let's see what happens. Now their defense has 9 sacks total. Bears beat them in that one. We'll talk about that. 1 interception and 5 fumbles. So on the turnovers, they're about the same as the Bears, as you'll see. Okay, so that's kind of the stats for the Raiders. The Bears, passing yards, they're dead last in that category. They're 32nd in that category out of 32 teams, and they pass yards 114 yards per game so far. Well, that's going to change. I guarantee that's going to change. But part of that problem is, besides having some games where the quarterback couldn't throw, it's your offensive line. They're not allowing enough time for them to throw. So we know that. We remember those games, and that one game where we only had 47 yards total offense, and that didn't help either. So we're dead last in that, and we're going to change that starting this week with Justin Fields, the starter, and the start of the rest of the year. So we'll see what happens, right? Let's hope Nagy doesn't fuck with them. Just saying. Rush yards, this is the one where we beat them. We've been averaging 122 yards a game, and we're 9th in the league. Unfortunately, I'm a little worried that could hurt us, because that was really all David Montgomery. So that concerns me a little bit. So we're probably I'm hoping number 24, Herbert, is the starter over number 8, Williams, because I think Herbert is better. He's he's a rookie. He was drafted in the off season here, and he's been doing our kickoff return. So that's him, and he's done a very good job. And I'd like to see him get some yards. I think he might be a good backup to David Montgomery, who will be out for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Thank God he didn't tear his ACL, because he'd be out the rest of the year. And he was having a year. You know what? He would have broke 1,000 yards easily this year. So I'm kind of bummed about that, because we really need a run game. Okay, so they've scored 16 points per game, and that's 30th in the league. So that's not good. Again, we're right at the bottom. And points allowed by our defense, they've been allowing an average of 22 points a game, and that puts them 23rd in the league of points allowed by the defense. My phone is ringing. I don't know if you can hear that, and it kind of sucks, so I don't know who it is, but it's probably the doctor I've been waiting to call back, so that figures, right? So anyways, so let's talk about Fields' numbers. So Fields, come on, he doesn't have a lot of numbers yet because he's only, this is his second start. So he's got 347 yards, and that one game he played where he had no yards at all. That didn't help. So this is his second starting job. He has 347 yards, and I'm hoping that he doubles that this week. He has thrown 2 interceptions. One of them was tipped, so, but no touchdowns yet, which that's going to change Sunday because he's going to be getting a touchdown throw to our top receiver, Mr. Mooney, number 11. Yeah, Barber. And he's got 226 yards. But the Raiders are beating us in all those categories. So we got to hope that Fields and Mooney and even Robinson have a good day on Sunday. The Bears defense leads the entire league, with 15 sacks. So, and I tell you what, no quarterback likes to be sacked. So when I say this, but David Carr gets very rattled. He doesn't like it at all. So let's hope the Bears get into his face, because if they can get into his face like they did last week with Golf, even though he had 280 yards passing, they were still all over the place, and they were forcing him to do turnovers. So that's what our defense has to do, and we're going to talk about that. The injuries. Now, this is as of today, and this just came out. Hicks, my favorite, 96, has a groin. He did practice today, but limited it. So let's hope he gets in that game this week, because when he's not in the game, teams can run on us. Mack, of course, this guy's always hurt. Ribs and foot. He only practiced today, but limited as well. We really need him in the game, because him and Mack have been a duo. Awesome. So let's keep that. We need these guys in it so Quinn and Mack can get some more sacks, right? And then there was some other guys. Gibson, our safety, number 38. He practiced Wednesday and Thursday. He has a hamstring, but he did not practice today. So I don't know what that means. I'm praying that he plays, because our backfield is a shit show. And we need him in. We need everybody that can help out there, because Jalen Johnson's the only good one out there, and he can't do it by himself. So we need our backfield to show up this week. So basically, as I said, the Raiders lead us in every category except for one or two, And so, as I mentioned, David's out. I mentioned the running back situation. So the Bears really have to play better than they played last week. This is not Detroit. This is the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're good. They really are. So the Bears are going to have their hands full, especially the backfield of the defense. I mean, I told you he's thrown 1,399 yards, and you don't think he's chopping at the bit after he's seen game film of our backfield? I'm sure he plans on coming in and just chewing us up with a yard. So our D-line and our linebackers really have to step up, because they've got the ability. So if the D-line gets all over the Raiders' offensive line and pushes it back, which is going to push Carr back, and makes him make mistakes, we have a chance. Because if the defensive line and the linebackers do an exceptional job, maybe it'll help our backfield, our safeties and our cornerbacks, because they're not good, and maybe we can prevent Carr from even getting that far. I know he's going to get yards, but if we could do what we did last week, that bend don't break with Detroit, again, that's Detroit, we have a chance. But the defense has got to step up again. And, of course, the offense has to step up. The offensive line, they have to improve each week, stay healthy, improve each week, and give Justin time to scan the field and to make some good decisions and to open up holes for our running backs because we have to be on the field a lot. And again, I say this every week, but it's really important for the Bears. And they did it almost all last week, except for in the fourth quarter. But I don't care if they get 3 points or 7. They got to score points when the Bears offense is out there. And they've got to be on the field a lot. Time of possession, you know how I feel about that. So the Bears need to score points. They got to win the time of possession. It was tied last week pretty much. It was within 3 minutes of each other. Because the more the Bears' offense is on the field, let me hear it, the less the Raiders' offense is on the field and the less the Bears' defense is on the field. And you have a better chance. So the O-line, up to you again. And, of course, it's up to Justin, too. He's got to really show up and get better each week because he just does. I mean, we need a quarterback. He's still young, everyone. He's going to make mistakes. And I'm pretty sure we aren't going to the Super Bowl this year. But each week we have to see improvement from Justin. He's very young and there's a lot he needs to learn. So if each week we can come out with a positive, a new thing he's done better, we're going to be looking good for the future. Okay? So, we're going to talk again. I say the same thing every week. Time of possession, Bears got to win it. The offensive line has to do their job. The defense has to come out. The defensive line and linebackers have to come out and play strong. We got to force some turnovers. And my biggest bugaboo, and you know how I feel about penalties, right? They can't have, what did they have, 7 or 8 for 70 or 80 yards last week, and yards lost the Bears, and it always came at a bad time. So we have got to put those penalties down. Remember, 5 or less gives you a chance to win the game. Doesn't mean you're going to win the game. It just gives you a chance to win the game. So, and this week's jersey color is white here in Vegas. They're going to be wearing white. That's what you're going to, if you have a white one, put that on for good luck on Sunday. And a couple cool things. My son and I will be at this game this week. Right on. Is that the coolest thing? My son's new father-in-law, is a season ticket holder, John Urock. And he gave my son and myself his tickets to go. So we're going this week. So I'm really pumped. And but what is really funny, on Tuesday, I got a call. I'm cleaning the bathrooms. Yeah, I got, this announcer has to do menial labor like everybody else. And I'm cleaning the bathrooms, and I hear my phone ring, and I run over. It says George Hallis. I'm like, oh my God! So of course I pick it up. Is Lynn there? And I knew it wasn't George on the phone. He said, my name is Brian, whatever. And Mr. McCaskey asked me to give you a call. What? And he said, you might need tickets for this week's game. And so I'm calling to see if you'd like to purchase a couple tickets. And I was like, oh, purchase, yeah. If he would said they were free and I was going to ask him where they were. They might have been better than my son's father-in-law's tickets. So, but it doesn't matter, and they probably wouldn't have cost very much, probably $100 or something like that. But it was really cool. At the end of the day, I talked to George Hallis. If you remember, you watched my show. I talked to him after he gave me his phone number, and I talked to him on, August 2nd or 3rd. And we talked about it, and I said, the prices was just too high. The prices have come down, but back then the prices were $500 for the nosebleed seats. I'm like, yeah, no. For a lot of reasons, I'm not going to, for principle, spend that kind of money. And two, if the Bears lose, I would be really pissed, So, And I told him that, and he's like, oh, okay. So, but he remembered. I mean, is this guy the coolest guy or what? So I'm really happy that he's kind of running the teams. Maybe, the teams, things have been better the last few weeks the last few years with the Bears organization. So, because a lot of the players just love him. So, not like in the olden days where the players were like, they're cheap, they don't care about us. You don't hear that stuff anymore. So I'm really, you know what? I say a lot has to do with George and how he's running things. So rock on, George. So yes, I'm going to be at that game. So it looks like we're going to be in the corner of the end zone. In the middle, we're going to be down low, but we're going to be in the middle. And my son will be wearing his white jersey, his white number 1 jersey for Fields. And I will be in my blue jersey for my Hicks number 96 jersey. So he's going to represent the offense. I'm representing the defense. I was going to wear my Dick Buckus, but it's although it's only going to be in 70s here on Sunday, but we do have to walk for at least 10 to 15 minutes to get to the stadium because you can't really park there. It's almost impossible. So because they haven't figured all the parking stuff out yet. Remember, this is the first year it's had fans. Yes, last year was the first year that Allegiant Stadium opened, but no fans. So they're still figuring out. So we're parking about 10 minutes away, 10 to 15 minute walk away. And we've got it all. You had to pay for it, so we did all that. But I didn't care. Me and my son are like, we'll just split it. We're not paying for tickets. So I'm really psyched. There is some things, though. You have to be fully vaccinated to get in and not have to wear a mask. If you're partially vaccinated, you can get in, providing you don't have a fever. They're going to check at the door, but you have to wear your mask. So it kind of is nice because then you don't worry about it. You're like, yeah, I know I'm going to be fine. So, and I'm going to be yelling my head off. So I hope you guys will see us out there, and I'm really looking forward to it. I just really, really hope, regardless if the Bears win or lose, of course, I always want them to win, no matter what. And of course, I'm going in thinking they're going to win, but the reality is they may not. But all I care about at the end of the day is if the Bears are in the game. If they're in the game and have a chance to win and they don't win, I could live with that because we are growing and we have some things we have to work on. We have a rookie quarterback. We're going to have a rookie running back in there. And our offensive line, we know, is a shit show along with our backfield. I wouldn't even say our offensive line is a shit show. Our defensive backfield is a shit show. Our offensive line is getting better, and I'm giving them some props. So I think they're going to be better this week, and if the Bears can hold up, we might have a chance. Because I believe any team can be beaten on any given day. And it's over. If you watch a lot of football, you know what I'm saying, and that's just the truth. I mean, how about that one season where New England went 16-0, won every single game, and then lost in the playoffs? See, so you never know. So, go Bears, I'm so pumped. I cannot wait for Sunday. And I get to see this brand new stadium. I hear it's really, really cool. So, we get to see our Bears in Vegas in person, and we get to see the new stadium. So, I'll tell you all about that next week. So, as always, I like to, send you off with a positive message. Everybody be kind to each other. Kindness is the nicest thing we could do for people right now because this country is so divided and there's not a lot of kindness. I mean, there is. Unfortunately, the stupid-ass reporters only report the bad stuff, not the good stuff, as we all know. That's just life in general. You hear more about bad than good, but let's stick together. Let's bring this country back to where it should be. For us, for our children, and for our grandchildren. And you know what? Just be nice to somebody. Somebody needs help them out. Smile at somebody. It's easy to smile. And you never know how that could pick somebody up. You never know what kind of day somebody's having, what's going on with their lives. So, let's just stick together. And let's do positivity. Because We're all the same. We're just people trying to make it in this world. And if we help each other out, we'll succeed, right? That's all I'm saying. So, get your gear ready. Get it on Sunday. Sit in front of that TV. Look for your announcer. Woo, woo, in the stands. And go Bears, baby. It would be awesome if we could beat these Raiders in their home. Yeah, baby. Okay. And as always, I love you guys. I really appreciate the viewership. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. And I'll see you on Monday. And hopefully, I will see you, and it'll be a Victory Monday. And you know I'm going to sing a song for you. All right. Bye-bye.